Good evening from Ludicus Detects. This sums up just how I'm feeling. Not been able to go out because of the weather. Today's been the better day, but I've had to work today. Tomorrow is promising to be wet yet again. So this is how I'm feeling. So I thought tonight, as I haven't put a video out for a while, that tonight I would put out a video of things that I've found in 20 years. Not everything, obviously, just some of my favourites. And give the newbie people something to look at and the kind of things that they're expecting to find. So I thought I'd start off with a lead theme. Obviously, you all know what these are, you've all found them. I've got a few that I keep in the display, and the rest are somewhere else. So again, pistol balls. And then we have the larger ones, which are musket balls. Then we move on to bag seals. Got quite a few of them, but these are some of my favourite. And I'm hoping I'm correct in saying that these are dress weights, also made from lead. Keeping with the lead theme, these are some of my spindle whirls. Love to find these, never get fed up of finding them. Then we move on to lead weights. Those three certainly are lead weights. Unsure about these. I think they've used a spoon. No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether they used a spoon to as a mould to make those. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. And I've also had this Pilgrim's Ampulla. It's the only full one that I have. I have got a part of one somewhere as well, but I've kept this in my display box because it's a full one, so I'm happy with that. And this one, I've always called it an inkwell. It's a real chunk. I'm not sure if that's a handle. It doesn't seem substantial enough to hold the weight, but there's certainly a quill or something's been in there. If anybody knows any different, I'd like to hear some feedback. I did take it to a fines liaison officer who just agreed with me and said it was an inkwell, so that's good enough for me. I'm not 100% sure that this is lead. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but again, guessing that it's a spinning top. I have lacquered that to try and keep some of the detail, but yeah, that's what I think it is. I think it's been a spinning top. And then finally, the lead items. There's this little swan duck. It's a bird. Oh, maybe a goose. It actually must be hollow because it's not that heavy. Moving on now from lead to watch winders. Again, some of my favourites in here. This one in particular it's a favourite. It's just a pretty one. Not all of them are cleaned up. I love finding them. They're so personal. I really do like them. Staying with the theme of pocket watches and timepieces, when I first found this, I thought it was a child's doll's house poker, but I've since learnt that it's actually for winding a clock. You'd put that into the slot and then wind it that way, or that way. But I believe it's a clock winder, not, as I thought, a poker for a doll's house. Moving on, cannons, toy cannons. I actually used to fill them with gunpowder and blow them. This one blew the side out. So yeah, you would point that at Granny and shoot her. Staying on the subject of shooty things, these are parts of toy guns. Obviously a stock of a gun. Barrel. This is a tiny little handgun that's on one of my videos recently. And again, I think that's lead, and it could have gone in the lead items, but I wanted to keep it to go with the shooty things. And here's a selection of buckles that I've found in the past. I mean, they're not all of my buckles, but as I've said earlier, just some of my favourite. This is a lovely shoe buckle. I'll work my way around those for you. Snake buckle. Yeah, they're just some of the better ones. Not exactly a buckle, but I've also got this Tudor close clasp. So I'm adding these as jewellery, I think. I know it's not all jewellery, but so I'll start off with this one that I found the other day. That's in my last video. The Lamb of God religious pendant. Still waiting for Flo to get back to me about that one. A couple of crosses. That one's a silver one. And that one's obviously not. A fancy button that I've kept for some reason. I just thought it was nice. A couple of silver spoons I keep in my display. This bracelet, this is silver, it needs a good clean. And half a butterfly wing brooch. A silver horseshoe brooch. Part of a T-bar for a pocket watch. Again, a little silver signet ring. Fob seals. I keep finding them without the intaglio, and then when I did find one with an intaglio, it wasn't a particularly good one. Yeah, military. This here, I do have two of these, and I've misplaced one. It's not in the display. I must have showed someone and haven't put it back. St. Christopher. I believe this is a Roman ring. Again, it's just what someone's told me. I'm not 100% sure. And then there's this little brooch been made up from coins. So I've put these under the category of jewellery. Now I've moved on to trading weights. Some of my favourite ones, not all of the ones I have, but just a small selection that I keep in my display. Thimbles. We all like a nice thimble, surely. Again, it's that personal thing. I just have one silver one. This I found in the first few months of me starting out detecting, so I'm particularly proud of that one. This one's just a aluminium one that's advertising a company, but one of my favourite ones is this one, a beehive thimble. Love it. And then there's a few bits of miscellaneous. This is a horse boss. Again, when I started detecting, I did used to lacquer things to try and keep detail. Whether that be a good thing or a bad thing, I'm not quite sure. This is a steam train. I believe it's the Rocket. Medieval chafing dish handle. A candle snuffer. I think they're nutcrackers. Usually find one handle and not the other, but that was kept together. I don't think it opens. Oh yes, it does. It opens. This looks like a policeman's whistle. Well, it's a whistle, certainly. Barrel tap key. This, I think, is from a parasol, the pointy bit at the top. It still has the original wood inside. And I believe this would fit onto a horse. Did they call it a turret ring? Long live the king. I showed you the barrel tap key. Well, this is actually a barrel tap. So this length here would go into the barrel. Obviously the beer cider came out of there, and then the key would lock it, although this is a different fitting to that one. It doesn't actually belong to it, but just to show you. And a knife pommel. This is again one of my favourites. And I'm dying to get back on the field that I found this one in. But it's at the moment it's got maize on, which they haven't got round to cutting yet. I've also got strap end. And this rather nice sword shape. I like it. I also have a few bits of silver. This I think has come off a rim of a vase. It is silver. Can't remember where the stamp is, but it's definitely silver. This Pandora charm bracelet actually had 4 charms on it, but they're now on my Pandora. This is just the locking mechanism. This is silver again. Sure, there's a hallmark to the right. That, I would imagine, is the corner of a photograph frame. This, when I found it, you can't really see it in there now. There's a man riding a bike inside there, and the darker bit at the bottom's green. It's grass. It was. You could see it when I found it, but it's dried out now and you can't see it as well. Again, silver. And I'm thinking, don't know for sure, but I think it's for a hip flask lid. That's what I think anyway. And now we move on to Bronze Age. This, I would imagine, is much older than that. It hasn't kept as good, but it certainly is a Bronze Age axe head. This is tiny, it's not a big one. Still got some of the wood inside. And this I found on an earlier video, I can't remember, I think it was the last video I did, which is just the bottom half of one of those. Roman. I only have 3 Roman coins. This one's definitely silver, my very first. And when I found that, it was literally between, it was laid on a rock, and over the years moss and grass had grown on top of the rock, and it was just wedged between the two. I couldn't understand why I was getting a really good signal on top of a rock with just a bit of moss on, and when I peeled back the moss, that's what was underneath. This one I found in one of my last video. I was quite shocked to find that. No, I'm wrong. This is the one I found on my last video, and I was quite shocked to find that. Thought that was silver at the time. I still think it is. I'm not going to clean it. I don't want to clean it. But looking at that against the definitely silver, I think that is. This isn't. It's in really good nick actually. I found that on my sister's permission, as I did this one. So yeah, I need to get back down there when the ban's been lifted. Pocket spills. I kid you not, these were all in the same hole. Sure that one was actually. Yes, it was. Yeah, the 5. Yeah, they were all in the same hole, and they were literally like that in the hole. Couldn't believe it. Actually, it doesn't feel like proper money. It's really weird. And this one's huge. Look, 1796. Brilliant condition. And honestly, believe me or not, they were all together in the same hole. Bullhead shillings. Again, 3 of my favourite. I do have more. These are in particularly good. That one in particular is in very good shape. One was new. Love them. Followed by most of my Hammards. They're not all here. I do keep, that's not a Hammard, shouldn't be there. I do keep some separate. We've got 2 farms at the moment, and I try to keep things that I find at that particular farm in a certain in a farm box. These are ones that I've found at other permissions, and I've kept them. That one is tiny. It's the smallest one I've got. Yeah, I don't want to take them all out, but they're all a majority of the Hammards that I've found. And then I've got another display with all the sixpences, shillings, threepenny bits, that I usually keep them in that little display. And then odds and sods. Yep, so that's all my finds. Well, not all my finds, but the majority of the finds that I've had in 20 years. I hope I haven't gone on too much, but what else is there to do when you can't go detecting? So I just thought I'd run you through, mostly for people that have just started the hobby, to show them what's possible, really. So on that note, thank you very much for watching. Thank you to my subscribers. If you haven't already, would you please subscribe, like the video, comment if I've made mistakes with some of my items. Quite open to you telling me that I've said wrong. Yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll leave you on that note. Bye for now.